Hey mamas, going on your hospital tour can be such a fun experience as you check one more thing off your to-do list before meeting baby. However, I also know it can sometimes be a little overwhelming to make sure you get all your questions answered, especially if you're feeling uncertain if you asked all the right questions in the first place. So in this video, I'm going to give you the top 7 questions that you should ask on your hospital tour. I'm Bridget and I'm a doula in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I love helping moms love their birth. For more resources on how to achieve a positive pregnancy and birth, make sure you subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so you're notified each time a new video comes your way. Alright, so hospital tours are there to help familiarize you to the place you'll be spending precious moments laboring and birthing your baby. On top of familiarizing you and your partner, it's a great time to get a feel for what to expect during labor and for all your questions to be answered by the team of people who are going to be providing you medical care. So by the end of this video, you'll have 7 great questions to ask to make you feel confident in your birth space and your care providers. So at most hospitals, women in labor will first go to an observation room or triage where they'll often be checked for dilation and their contractions and baby's heart rate will be monitored. This brings us to our first question when you are on that hospital tour. How long will I spend in triage before going to my labor and delivery room, and will I be sent home if I'm not dilated enough to be admitted? So oftentimes hospitals will not admit women until they are about 5 or 6 centimeters dilated to ensure that they are in active labor. And the reason behind this is to hopefully avoid any unnecessary interventions that come along with being admitted too early. So this is actually in your favor, even though it might be somewhat more inconvenient for you and your partner. It's important to know this information so that you're not caught off guard if your hospital care team sends you home if you're not quite dilated to that 5 or 6 centimeters. And don't be discouraged if this happens either. It just means that you get to spend some more time in the comfort of your home as you work through early labor. Now moving on to question number 2, which before I tell you, I want to mention that before going on your hospital tour, I'd really encourage you to spend some time thinking about your birth plan or birth vision if you haven't already. Knowing what kind of birth you're desiring will help really shape your questions as you take this hospital tour. You don't need to know every detail, but having a basic idea of your birth is really important. So with that in mind, question number 2 is, I want a blank birth. How will you support me in that? Express what kind of birth you're hoping for. Maybe it's unmedicated, maybe you want an epidural, or maybe you want a birth with no interventions. This opens the door to talk about how you will be supported in achieving the kind of birth that you want, as well as gauge how your hospital feels towards the kind of birth that you're hoping for. So some questions that might come out of that is, will a nurse be there to help you cope with an unmedicated labor? Usually that doesn't happen, but maybe at your birthplace it will. If you want to get an epidural during your birth, when during labor can you get it? How does this hospital care team support women who get epidurals? If you don't want interventions, not even a HEP or a saline lock, will there be an issue? Knowing what you want from your birth experience and how your care team will support you through that will help you be confident as you approach your birth experience. Now, piggybacking off of the last question, in order for your care team to best support you, they need to know what you want, which is why writing a birth plan is so beneficial for you and for them. If you want to know whether writing a birth plan is right for you, make sure you check out this video after this one to get a little bit more information on writing a birth plan. So along with writing it down, it's really important that your doctors, your midwives, your nurses all have access to it during your birth. So question number 3 is, how do I make sure medical staff will see my birth plan? So oftentimes you're going to give your birth plan to your OB or your midwife during one of your last few prenatal appointments for them to save in your file, which is oftentimes in an electronic database. But it's also a really good idea to bring your own hard copy as well when you arrive at the hospital. Some hospitals place it on a clipboard that your nurse keeps with all your other information, or they'll have a special place in the room so that all the nurses, midwives, or doctors that come in have easy access to it. Bottom line, know how you can best share your birth plan with your care team, whether that's having it on the clipboard, whether it's having it posted in your room, or just on file with all your other information. Know how you can share your birth plan so that your care team all know what you want. Now, if you're planning to have an unmedicated birth or to postpone using an epidural for as long as you can, it's especially important to ask question number 4. What non-medical pain management tools do you have here? For example, some hospitals will have birth balls, peanut balls, squat bars, bathtubs, showers, all of those good things. And knowing this will help you know what the hospital offers and what you'll have to supplement with your own tools. Birth balls are one of my favorite labor tools to use, and if you find out your hospital doesn't carry them, I really recommend bringing your own. I'll link down below the one that I loved for my own birth and the one that I bring for all my mama's births as well. It's cheap, it's on Amazon, you can just get it on Prime, it'll be delivered in 2 days, and it's great to use during pregnancy as well, which I explain all about in this video that I've linked up here, so be sure to check that one out if you haven't already. Moving on to question number 5, which is, what is the standard for fetal heart monitoring? Fetal heart monitoring is when they hook up monitors to mama's belly that helps them gauge what the contractions are and what baby's heart rate is at. So in a hospital setting, there are 2 main methods for fetal heart monitoring. One is where they intermittently monitor baby's heart rate and then take mama off the monitors so that she can freely move around. And the other way is when baby is being continuously monitored, which often limits mama's mobility a little bit, but is sometimes necessary, such as for an induced labor. Getting to know your hospital's protocol on how they use both methods will give you a good idea on what you want for your own birth. Now, birth, although most often is normal and healthy and safe, can sometimes be unpredictable and go down a path you weren't necessarily expecting, which is why knowing the answer to question number 6 is so important. Are there any situations that may take me away from my birth partner? So maybe a C-section is medically necessary in order to keep you and baby safe. Is your partner going to be able to come with you, or will they meet you while you're in the operation room? And if they aren't able to be with you, how soon will you be able to be reunited? Or if you choose to get an epidural, is your partner able to be in the room with you while they are administering the epidural? So knowing these answers can help you feel more calm if circumstances do arise where you and your partner need to be apart. So this leads us to our final question, question number 7. What are your afterbirth procedures? What do you do in terms of cord clamping or skin to skin, breastfeeding, or bathing the baby? And adding on to that question, you can ask, can I postpone any afterbirth procedures, and for how long can I postpone it? Unless there's an emergency, mama, you should be able to spend uninterrupted time with your baby after birth. And while most hospitals support this, some still may try to whisk baby away and do those routine procedures. So knowing your hospital's protocol for afterbirth will help you express what you want for your afterbirth experience with your baby. Most procedures can be done while baby is on your chest or can wait till an hour or more after baby is born. Again, you're going to want to make sure that all of these preferences are on your birth plan for your care provider to see. These have just been a few questions that you can ask your care provider on your hospital tour, but I want to hear from you guys. What are some questions that you have that I haven't mentioned yet? If you comment them down below, you might be able to give mama some good ideas that they can bring along with them on their hospital tour. Well, mama, I hope these questions help you have a good idea of what to ask going into your very fun and informative hospital tour. But more than anything, I hope the answers that you get from your hospital tour make you feel excited and confident to give birth in the place that you've decided. If you're still feeling like you're not quite asking all the right questions, you can download my full list of 20 questions to take with you on your hospital tour by scrolling down to the descriptions and clicking the link that says questions to ask on your hospital tour. Thanks for being with me in this video, mamas, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.